There's one thing in life I couldn't live without, Channel 5. Oh, and my handbags, and my Feng Shui goldfish.
All the information you need to start your day comes your way in 5 News at Breakfast at 6. Till then, settle back for all sorts of sports.
The NFL regular season is already a distant memory. 16 games of grit, graft and glory are at an end and count for very little. You're either in or you're out. It's playoff time. Wildcard weekend starts the final leg of the road to Tampa Bay and Super Bowl 35. 8 teams are ready to rock and roll in the first round of the playoffs. Baltimore.
First time in Ravens history. Playoffs.
Denver.
Get Denver! Let's get Denver!
Indianapolis.
Let's get hot at the wrong time.
And Miami.
Okay, baby. Early and often, baby.
Along with New Orleans.
Got to have it today, baby. Got to have it. Got to have it.
Philadelphia.
That's how you play Eagle football. You mash, 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 and score.
St. Louis.
Was the night before Christmas, all through the house. Now the creature was stirring, except the St. Louis Rams.
And Tampa Bay.
Man, it's time. That's old school.
They've all been in action this weekend and are all here as the postseason powers to the playoff pinnacle on the home of American sport. We are Channel 5. Welcome along to us. What you can see is a really big weekend in the world of the NFL. Exactly. It is great stuff, Mike, this particular one, isn't it?
Don't think much of DeMarco Farr's poetry, though.
He was getting there. Well, he got there, but nearly. Only just nearly.
Perfection poetry.
Gave it a go. Gave it a good go.
Pusillanimous.
The thing about the wildcard weekend, of course, it does present that last gasp opportunity for those teams that no one thought could and should and might not.
And we said at the end of the regular season, you know, it's an interesting regular season because every team that had 10 wins or more is in the playoffs, and every team that had 9 wins or less is out. So that you really do get the sense that the best teams in the league are in. But the ones who snuck in with the wild cards are the ones who are going to have to win 3 times on the road to get to the Super Bowl. That's only been done once in history by the Patriots back in 1985. You've got the really weird situation of the Rams and the Colts, the 2 teams who a lot of people were picking as the Super Bowl favorites going into the season, both just sneaking in as the number 6 seeds.
Yes, indeed. Well, we'll look at the teams in a moment's time, and Mike will kind of give you a view of how he feels they have got her in a bit more detail. But first, let's catch up with a bit of NFL news. Al Grom.
Gro's got a brand new bag.
Yes.
He's gone to the University of Virginia as head coach. And it's funny the different kinds of stories that are coming out, but I think basically he took the Jets to an overachieving kind of year this year, but they lost the last 3 games of the regular season, and I think he got the feeling that the rah-rah kind of stuff just couldn't take them any farther. You know, it's a business.
It was that last quarter thing they were doing all year, wasn't it?
Yeah, and in the end, pro football is a business, and I think Al Groh's more of an emotional coach as a head coach now that he's in the head position, and I think he probably feels he'll be more comfortable in Virginia, and he's not likely to be fired because, you know, one of the inevitable things about being a head coach in the NFL is that more often than not you're going to be fired somewhere down the line.
Yeah, slightly less high profile.
It's an interesting question, is, you know, who might take his place. The one thing that's for sure, supposedly, is Bill Parcells says he's not coming back.
Not stepping back in. Okay, fair enough. Now, perhaps one other factor that is included in there we'll now see from our playoff coverage is their neighbours did make it. I wonder if it does occur to the Jets that when the Giants are there, they should be, and when they're not, they want to know why.
You remember back in week 2, I said don't bet on a Jets-Giants Super Bowl.
Well, we can see what did happen now with them instead, because the Jets have got themselves, the Giants have made themselves all the way through, but this is what was going to happen in the playoffs. And we're going to start off, as you can see here. In fact, basically, if I just nip through this for you to let you know exactly how we're going to be covering it this evening. First game up there, we take this in chronological order. First game on Saturday was the Indianapolis Colts, and they were taking on the Miami Dolphins. As you can see there, extended highlights of that game will come along in just a few minutes' time. That'll be followed by a couple of reports. First of all, Mike will bring us up to speed on the AMC wildcard game, St. Louis Rams and the New Orleans Saints. And then his second report will be the first game from Sunday, which is the Denver Broncos and the Baltimore Ravens. And then more extended highlights for you. That is the NFC wildcard game, Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I guess if you start with the back team there, Philadelphia, you know, we're talking about your surprise package for wildcard. They're probably a good one, aren't they?
And very interesting debate going on last week in the NFL, because Marshall Faulk, remember, was voted the MVP of the NFL. Donovan McNabb was second. And so the question was, Faulk was the MVP for the Rams. He had these 3 great games at the end of the season as the Rams just snuck into the playoff. But without Donovan McNabb, where do the Eagles finish? They were 11-5 in the regular season. You know, are they 5-11 if they don't have Donovan McNabb at quarterback? Who knows? But he got my vote as the season's MVP.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, fine player as well, you said, all season long. OK, let's go back to our first game now, which will be our first game, of course. That's Indianapolis and Miami, Mike. And tell about the star guys we're going to be meeting up in this one.
And there's quite a few of them.
Isn't there just?
Starting with the quarterbacks. And Indianapolis have probably the best quarterback in the game, certainly the most valuable property in the game because he's so young, in Peyton Manning. Another 4,000-yard season, 33 touchdowns, 15 interceptions, very few sacks because he gets rid of the ball. On the other hand, Jay Fiedler, an unsung hero, briefly a London Monarch, formerly an Amsterdam Admiral. He's been on the practice squad of a couple of teams. The Dolphins just want him not to make mistakes. Edgerrin James, the second of the triplets for Indianapolis, another big season running, and you know, you don't even notice anymore because he just seems to be so automatic with it. Lamar Smith, people are starting to notice him. He's the key to the Dolphins because they need to control the game on the ground, and Lamar Smith has been the guy who's done it, really a comeback player of the year candidate. The third of the triplets for the Colts, Marvin Harrison, probably the best receiver in the NFL this season. Hard to argue with 102 catches, a lot of clutch catches in that, 14 touchdowns as well, so he does it when he has to. And Arondi Gadsden, hurt for part of the season, former Arena League player. Acrobatic catches are his specialty. He can go up in the air and get it. He can catch with people on him. Defensively, Chad Bradsky had a very quiet year for the Colts after coming over from the Giants and having a great year last season. But he's the key to their defensive line. Jason Taylor, pass rush specialist. They've got a couple of them. The 2 big tackles in the middle of the Miami line make it easy for those defensive ends. Taylor's key is he...
This is kind of like Colts familiar territory in the sense where you'd kind of hope they get to this stage at the very least. But for Miami, you know, after a season, the first season without Dan Marino would have been too much been expected of them to kind of guarantee to walk through to this stage?
Definitely. No one really expected him to do that. I think Dave Wanstead did a really good job coaching this team, and he seems to have changed from a guy who wanted to be a Jimmy Johnson kind of dictator coach into a feel-good, hands-on kind of coach. And you remember how they rebounded after losing that game that we had, you know, the overtime game with the Jets. Miami came back. They played well when they had to. They won with good defense, just like Jimmy Johnson, but with an offense that made fewer mistakes than they did under Jimmy Johnson. The Colts won in Miami 3 weeks ago when they played down there. They've won 3 in a row to get in the playoffs. They're at their best right now.
It's a good way to start our coverage of the wildcard weekend. It will be the Colts and the Dolphins going head-to-head in just a couple of minutes.
Two households, one olive and one dairy, in fair Verona, where we lay our scene. Though born into strife, two star-crossed lovers conspire to overthrow the grudge of generations. Celebrate this union of butter with olive oil. New from Olivio.
At last, a collection of extremely detailed and realistic hand-painted lead soldiers from the First and Second World Wars. The Lead Soldier Collection, in collaboration with Osprey. The first part work with a British Commando for £2.50.
It's as if she's listening to something we can't hear or see.
Don't let them get the little girl. She's special. That's why they want her.
He's still out there. We're running out of time.
If you can't turn her, I'll kill her.
Feel that hate. Something that feels that good can't be wrong. Join us, Cody. Join us.
It's buy one, get one free week at McDonald's.
Hi, Big Mac, please.
Tomorrow only, buy one Big Mac and get another one absolutely free.
What, free?
Yes, free!
The new phone bar is fast and fun, and it's the easiest way to talk to exciting new people. You can swap messages or connect live for a private chat with anyone in the bar you like the sound of. With up to 240 people on the line right now, you're sure to find someone to interest you. Give it a try now and find out for yourself on 09069 121 131. That's 09069 121 131.
The PC World Sale is on now, and we're driving prices down, right across the store. PC World.
New Crystal Air from Hayes has an innovative glass design containing waves of real perfume, which fragrance your home for over 4 weeks.
Hello?
Daddy, have you seen them again?
Molly, it's 4 in the morning.
I'll call you back in an hour then.
With new choices from BT Together, you can now call 13 countries, including the US, from as little as 9p a minute. Call 0800 005 800 now.
We're looking back at wildcard weekend in the NFL season. 4 games took place over the weekend. We'll have action from all of them. We'll start off, though, in the best place to start, which was Saturday morning, the first game. And that was the AFC wildcard game between the Indianapolis Colts, who had Coach Jim Moore in charge there, of course. Never won himself a playoff game. Was this going to be the first one? It's against the Miami Dolphins this season without Dan Marino. How about it? How's it all going to go? We can find out now as we join our commentary team of Paul Maguire, former Skins quarterback Joe Theismann, and Mike Patrick.
Olindo Mare will kick it off. He'll be kicking with the wind. And Terrence Wilkins is the deep man for the Indianapolis Colts. This game is blacked out in the Miami area, not sold out in time, but there are only a handful of empty seats right now, and the playoffs are underway, and Mare crushes one. Here are the Colts starting backs and receivers.
Peyton Manning, quarterback, University of Tennessee.
Edgerrin James, every down back, University of Miami.
Marvin Harrison, wide receiver, Syracuse University.
Jerome Pathan, wide receiver, University of Washington.
Marcus Pollard, tight end, Bradley University.
Ken Dilger, tight end, University of Illinois.
The Colts will start 1st and 10 from their own 20. Peyton Manning, 4,413 yards passing. He led the National Football League. Manning to throw on 1st down. Complete for a gain of only 1. Here's the Colts offensive line.
Art Glenn, offensive tackle, University of California at Berkeley.
Steve McKinney, left guard, Texas A&M University. Larry Moore, offensive guard, Brigham Young University.
Adam Meadows, offensive tackle, University of Georgia.
Jeff Saturday, center, University of North Carolina.
So the Colts complete their first pass, but only for a yard to Dilger, the tight end. Edgerrin James. Takes it out to the 28-yard line, too shy of a first down. Brock Marion with the tackle.
You want to take advantage of the fact that Miami wants to bring their ends up the field. So when you do that, you can kick them out and allow Edgerrin James to come underneath. Dilger comes across. He traps Jason Taylor, which allows James to turn upfield. Look at the job by Pathon. These receivers may not be big of the Colts, but they'll mix it up with them.
Edgerrin James with his second consecutive rushing fight. 3rd and 2 Colts. Blitz coming. Incomplete, knocked down by Madison. Intended for Terrence Wilkins.
But, you know, this guy, Sam Madison, is just an outstanding corner. I mean, he really plays the ball. He said he will not look at Peyton Manning's eyes. Watch him play Wilkins. He plays him perfectly. Now the ball comes, and he just reaches in. Just perfect timing.
It's another Pro Bowler for that Miami defense. Hunter Smith to kick it away. Jeff Ogden is back with O.J. McDuffie. Short kick into the wind. Ogden to the 47. 34-yard kick, 10-yard return. There's a marker down, and it will be a hold against Miami.
Jay Fiedler, quarterback from Dartmouth College. Lamar Smith, running back, University of Houston.
Rob Conrad, fullback, Syracuse University.
Tony Martin, wide receiver, Mason State.
Orlando Gadsden, wide receiver, Winston-Salem State University.
Hunter Goodwin, tight end, Texas A&M University.
Because of the wind, it could be a game of field position. The Dolphins have already squandered some great field position with that penalty. Jay Fiedler, 14 touchdown passes, 14 interceptions. Except for a couple of bad games, his numbers will be much better than that. Fiedler first down to Martin to the 39.
Tony Martin, number 80, up against Mustafa Muhammad. Now, everybody expects the Dolphins to come out and run Lamar Smith. Why not? That's what they do very well. I would look for him to take a different approach, just the way they started this game. Throw the ball a bit, loosen up that Colt defense, then start to pound them.
But right now they've got J.J. Johnson as the upback in front of Lamar Smith. Smith on the toss. Big hole up the middle. To the Colts 43.
Well, they had Muhammad, who was a corner. They had him on a blitz, and he's just trying to avoid the blocker instead of going right at Lamar Smith. On the right-hand side of your screen, you're going to see it. He goes around the blocker, and that enabled Smith to get up the middle of the field.
From the ump cam, look at the hole that he has to run through. Goes flying by the umpire, and the Colts couldn't catch up to him.
Ripped off a 17-yard game, and here he goes again down to the 34. Here's Miami's offensive line.
Christian Webb, offensive tackle, Texas A&M University.
Todd Wade, offensive tackle, Ole Miss.
Mark Dixon, offensive guard, University of Virginia.
Kevin Donnelly, guard, the University of North Carolina.
Tim Ruddy, center, University of Notre Dame.
Miami moving the ball very well on its opening possession. 2nd and a yard from the 34. Fiedler to throw. Can't find anybody, and they'll sack him back at the 40-yard line. Good pass rush by Bernard Whittington and Ellis Johnson, the tackles.
Well, when you look at Jay Fiedler, he runs a little play action, and he wants to go down the field, but just take a look at the coverage. There's absolutely no one to throw the ball to. Everybody is covered. Here it comes again. There's Muhammad again on Gaston, and here comes Whittingham on a sack. You're just, when you hold the ball that long, you're going to get hit.
Yeah, but it's a good decision because he doesn't want to make a mistake. He's willing to take the sacks and protect the ball.
3rd and 6. Fiedler to Denson, and that's a forward pass, incomplete.
Now keep in mind, he doesn't have to throw the ball overhand towards the line of scrimmage. Even a shovel pass like this one is considered a forward pass and an incompletion.
The interesting thing, talking to Cornelius Bennett yesterday, is he was saying that we want to shut down a run and force them to pass, them being Miami. Well,
how about
first play,
How about this 4th down? 4th down and 6. And Dave Wanstead has said, I'm willing to take chances. I think he believes with the wind at his back and as good as his defense is, he's willing to take that chance now.
Mate could have tried what would have been a 56-yard field goal. Instead, they go for it on 4th down. Blitz coming. Fiedler with time. Knocked away, incomplete. Peterson with great coverage downfield on McDuffie.
Boy, that's just a linebacker. Peterson, number 52, looking at the quarterback and watching his eyes.
Neither team could score on its opening possession. Back in a moment. Colts will start from their own 39. Manning into the wind. Complete to Pathan down at the 36-yard line. 25 yards on the throw. Brian Walker made the tackle.
The way you attack a 2-deep coverage with the corners up and the safeties back is you work behind the corners. Pathan puts pressure, holds the safety inside. Walker can't get to the outside. And Manning's arm is so strong, he can muscle the ball into the wind.
1st and 10 from the 36. James is the single setback. 2 tight ends, and Edger and James trying to get to the corner. Surtain did a nice job on the outside. Here's Miami's defensive front 7.
Defensive end from Louisiana State. Jason Taylor, defensive end, the infamous University of Akron.
Tim Bowens, defensive tackle, University of Mississippi. Daryl Gardner, defensive lineman, Baylor University.
Derek Rogers, outside linebacker, Arizona State.
Robert Jones, linebacker, East Carolina.
Hi, I'm Zach Thomas, linebacker, Texas Tech.
Infamous Akron.
Second and 9. Manning appears to be changing the play. Sometimes that's a decoy. Blitz coming. Drops it off to James. Edger and James to the 22. 1st down. Colts another gain of 13.
Joe, you talked about the patience of Peyton Manning. That time he just steps up into the pocket. He was going to go downfield. They ran a little play action. And then watch this. Boom, little play action. Edgerrin James looks down the field. Here they come. Dump it off to Edgerrin James. There's nobody on him because all the linebackers are gone.
One of the reasons Bill Polian drafted him and traded Marshall Faulk to get into that spot was that he was such an excellent pass receiver. Caught 63 balls during the regular season. Manning with a play fake goes deep. Pathan incomplete. Madison was back there with him and pushed him at the end line. The question for the official, would he have come down in bounds if he hadn't been shoved?
I think the ball is thrown just a tad too far. You see him go up through the air. Now, does he come down? That's a tough judgment call for the official because you've got the receiver's momentum carrying him out of bounds. If he'd have jumped straight up in the air and started to come down and then was pushed out, I think it could have been ruled differently.
James cuts it up the middle inside the 15. Here's Miami's secondary.
At Surtain, cornerback, University of Southern Miss.
Sam Madison, defensive back, University of Louisville.
Brian Walker, strong safety, Washington State University.
Brock Marion, free safety, University of Nevada, Reno.
That is some secondary, too. A couple of Pro Bowlers, Madison and Brock Marion in his first. Madison in his second as a starter.
When you get down around the goal line, you got to figure Marvin Harrison is a guy they love to try and get the football to.
3rd and 2. Incomplete, nearly picked off by Jerry Wilson. Thrown behind the receiver, and here comes Mr. Automatic, Mike Vanderjagt, the field goal kicker.
Edgerrin James coming out of the backfield, and I'll tell you, outstanding coverage by Jerry Wilson, number 24. Watch Edgerrin James. He comes out of the backfield. Now he's going to plant, and he come across the middle. Look at this timing. Wilson is there. That ball, if anyone was going to catch it, it would have been Wilson.
You know, I think that's a product of guys playing each other so much. You saw Wilson break so quickly.
Vanderjagt has missed only 2 all year, 1 from 59, 1 from 47. in his career, he's been more accurate than anyone. This will be from 32. Money in the bank. The Colts get the first points of the game. They're up 3-0.
So the Colts first on the scoreboard after the ensuing kickoff. Both teams failed to move the ball and were forced to punt. We rejoin the game on the Dolphins' subsequent drive. 1st and 10.
Dolphins from their own 34. Lamar Smith pounds forward for almost 6. Here's the Colts secondary.
Jeff Burris, cornerback, University of Notre Dame.
Mustafa Muhammad, cornerback, Fresno State University.
Chad Cota, strong safety, University of Oregon, Fighting Ducks.
Jason Belzer, safety, University of Oklahoma.
So far for Lamar Smith, 3 carries, 32 yards.
They just got to keep feeding him the ball.
First down and more. Smith to the 49. And Lamar Smith has really come out of nowhere. He's in his 7th year in the pros. Smith, 2nd all-time in Dolphins history. Single season, 1,139 yards rushing. 14 rushing touchdowns. That's 2nd in Dolphins history.
And with Lamar Smith in this offense, I mean, it's a great offensive line. This is what Lamar Smith has done.
He's a workhorse, 309 carries. That's a club record as well. Smith again, not much this time.
Well, you keep giving it to him, Mike, until they stop him. When you say not much, he picked up 3.5 yards on this play.
But that is the personality of this offense. Chan Gailey has always been a coordinator who really likes to run the football. His preference would be to run the football.
Dave Wanstead said, because we had a commitment to it and repeated it so much, we finally were able to do what they've been trying to do in Miami for years, and that's establish some kind of a running game. Smith again. Still on his feet inside the 30.
You had a missed tackle right in the hole. Number 52, Mike Peterson, who really doesn't miss many tackles, but he is in the hole, and he's the guy that has to make this play. Watch number 52 coming from your left. Look at him go up into the hole, and he doesn't make the play. But that's outstanding blocking at the line of scrimmage.
This is what impresses me. See how low he lowers his shoulder just before contact? You saw it in the highlights. You see it here. He doesn't give you anything to tackle.
Smith has already had 4 runs of 9 yards or better. That one, he'll lose yardage. Hit in the backfield, will lose 2 or 3. Chad Bratsky, the former New York Giant, came in from the defensive end spot. The Dolphin offense ranked 14th this year, passing ranked only 27th. The first time since 1983 that they had a better ranking in rushing than passing. 1983, ring a bell, fellas?
Dan Marino.
I know that.
Yes, you do.
Dan Marino.
They have totally changed their offensive attitude, and it's worked. Fiedler. Screen, backside, Smith. Oh. Great play by Peterson. Fiedler. Flags are down all over the place. They'll whistle the play dead.
That's movement on the outside. And I'll tell you, the movement on the outside didn't have to. You weren't even a part of the play.
Prior to the snap, false start. 78 offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains 3rd down.
Oh, what a call, though.
The call is perfect, and the draw, the quarterback draw is going to be run a little bit to the right. Richmond Webb is on the left-hand side of the play. He really is not going to be involved in it. But you see Richmond Webb right in the corner. He moves, and then look where Fiedler goes. He goes to the other side.
Dave Wanstead knows that offense is not going to have that many opportunities for big plays. They squandered that one. 3rd and 14, and that offensive unit committed a record number of penalties this season. Fiedler has to scramble. Now he throws, and it's picked off in the end zone. Chad Cota with the interception. Intended for Martin, but the ball was underthrown.
This is one of those deals. You don't have to throw the football.
No,
Joe.
he doesn't.
He does not have to throw the football.
Couple of reasons why. First of all, they're in field goal range. Olindo Mare, one of the best in football. Secondly, the wind is at his back. All right, now the patterns are broken. Tony Martin tries to go up the field, and he gets hung up. Chad Cota does a real nice job of just finding the ball while it's in the air.
Jay Fiedler's interception, second to the end of the first quarter, put the Colts in position to score at the top of the second period. However, they called a fake field goal, but the Dolphins' special teams were alive to the situation, and the effort failed. Dolphin quarterback Jay Fiedler threw his second interception of the first half on Miami's next drive. Chad Bratsky coming up with a pick. The 6'5" defensive end not only does well to beat his blocker, but gets a hand to the ball before getting a handle on it. Again, the Dolphin D held, and the Colts were forced into another field goal attempt, and this time there was no razzle-dazzle. Mike Vanderjagt converted the 26-yard effort for a 6-0 Indianapolis lead. We rejoin the action after the kickoff. Miami's ball, 1st and 10 on their own 20.
Smith only up to the 20.
With Jay Fiedler having the rotator cuff problem with his left shoulder, it's very difficult for him to use his hand to hand off. So everything has to be handed off with his right. Watch this. He comes back. See his right hand? That is an awkward, difficult handoff, and I'm surprised that Lamar Smith and he have been as efficient and proficient doing it. I mean, it's been no problem at all since he started doing it, but he just can't extend that left arm.
2nd and 9. Fiedler in rhythm, but misses McDuffie. There's Damon Heward, the backup. His claim to fame this year, he started one game at Indianapolis, and he beat the Colts. Had the winning touchdown just outside of a minute to go. He was 5-1 as a starter a year ago, but Fiedler was anointed the starter for this franchise in training camp.
And Fiedler knows what it's like to get booed. You're only in the second quarter with 8 minutes and 44 seconds. He's thrown a couple of interceptions, and that was a bad pass because McDuffie was wide open and they booed him.
And the other throws he's made have not really been close to on target.
Blitz coming. They pick it up well. Fiedler throws. Picked again. Cota. The third interception of the first half for the Colts defense.
And the second by Cota.
A return of 24 yards, and Dave Wannstedt knows his team is in trouble.
Well, O.J. McDuffie never even looked back. He's going down the middle of the field, and he doesn't even look back. Chad Cota is right in the middle. He's just playing center field. Now here comes O.J. McDuffie. Now look, he all of a sudden he just looks at the last second. Cota makes the catch.
You see number 37. He's making a break on the ball. It's over McDuffie's head, and he makes the play. I got to believe that Dave Wannstedt is going to have to change quarterbacks and not let this game get so far out of hand that they won't have a chance to win it.
Fiedler has missed his last 4 and had 3 of them interceptions. Edgerrin James changes direction, gets about a yard. We talked about turnovers during the regular season, how critical they are, and Paul said coaches start emphasizing it before camp starts. In the postseason, even more important. At +3, you have an 89% chance of winning. That's what it is right now, +3 on picks.
But I believe if the Dolphin defense can hold here and allow them an attempt at a field goal, then you have to consider Miami still in this game.
Man, a lot of time. Dilger, touchdown. Check it, Payton.
I'll tell you, that, we heard Manning in the beginning says, you got to throw the perfect pass. You have to throw the perfect pass. This is the perfect pass.
Yeah, but I'll tell you something. You can't ask a corner to cover somebody all over the field. Payton is being covered by Madison. He starts up. Look at the amount of time that Sam Madison has to try and stay with Jerome Payton. And
Payton is the guy who dropped the 1 touchdown pass. He didn't drop that one. 3 catches, 47 yards, and a touchdown for Jerome Pathan. And now the Colts will go for 2.
I believe that you've got to see a quarterback change here. He's got to go to Damon Heward, the Dolphins do.
They're not warming up anybody.
Harrison comes in motion. Manning. Dilger has the 2 points. A beautifully designed play. And the Indianapolis Colts take advantage of that turnover. They have increased their lead to 14-0 in Miami.
The Dolphins drove downfield on their next possession, but were held to a field goal attempt. Kicker Alindo Mare uncharacteristically missing from 38 yards out. And that's the way that particular first half finished there. And an interesting point there, Mike, from Joe Theismann right at the end. Wants Heward in already. 3 interceptions for Fiedler in that first half.
And you could see why, because 2 of the 3 interceptions were simply balls he shouldn't have thrown.
Yeah.
But the balls he did throw and completed were looking okay. And remember, when Damon Heward came in for Fiedler in mid-game, he played very badly. When they had the week to prepare Heward, he played very well against the Colts. But in the games where Fiedler got hurt and Heward had to come in, he didn't play so well. And I think they prepared all week with Fiedler, and so they were going to stick with him.
Yeah.
And what Dave Wanstead had to do at halftime was to tell Fiedler, look, you don't have to win the game all by yourself. Don't throw the ball unless you're absolutely sure it's going to get there. Because, you know, we saw like on the first interception, if he releases the ball and zips it when he makes the first move, it's a completion. But what he did was he saw the first move, then he pumped, and then he threw it, and the ball floated up and he was double covered.
Exactly, that's right. And but Peyton Manning finished the half, interestingly, in the opposite position there. I mean, that's is that risky in a game like this to worry, to think about going for the extra point there?
Well, they needed the 2-point conversion to get this, and it's a really nice play that they run because they're going to fake Edger and James going in, and then they're just going to hit Ken Dilger, the tight end, off in the flat, and just watch the way the play develops. You see Dilger going to block there, and he just moves off the block, slides out in the field, and Zach Thomas, who remembers playing with a sprained ankle, can't get out there fast enough to get on. But it's the play fake and Dilger's block that makes that play work. And
you say they needed that extra point there?
Well, they wanted to get that touchdown's worth of points after having settled for the field goals.
Yeah.
And to be honest, it was the worst fake field goal I've seen in a long time because there was nobody out to take a pass, and usually you want a fake field goal, you want to pass the ball. I mean, maybe they think Hunter Smith's a great runner or something, but when you pass, you have a chance to sort of get the kicker out in front of the holder.
Yeah.
And you get an extra blocker there, although you don't necessarily want Vanderjagt trying to block anybody.
Not too much. But it's a very nice little lead for the road team after a half a game, and we've seen the ball moving very nicely on the floor, haven't we?
Both teams are moving the ball offensively pretty well, which is a little bit of a surprise for the Colts. I mean, because Miami's defense is a bit better. The key really for Indianapolis still is Mike Peterson, who has to sort of be all over the field for them. And so far, he's done a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, getting about a bit. 14-0 then. That is the Colts in the lead over the Dolphins in our first wildcard game of the evening. We come back with the second half in a couple of minutes.
The new phone bar is fast and fun, and it's the easiest way to talk to exciting new people. You can swap messages or connect live for a private chat with anyone in the bar you like the sound of. With up to 240 people on the line right now, you're sure to find someone to interest you. Give it a try now and find out for yourself on 09069 121 131. That's 09069 121 131. If you're single, or even if you're not, you'll always be welcome at the Singles Bar. People call in every day looking to chat, get a date, or perhaps something more. You'll find the Singles Bar on 09069 12 13 12. And we have thousands of callers every day looking for fun. So why don't you join me on 09069 12 13 12. Call us now.
halfway through the first game of our wild card weekend. AFC game it is as well, and at the moment we have a lead in Miami for the Indianapolis Colts over the Dolphins. We're going to rejoin the second half now. It's just after kickoff. The Dolphins have the ball. It's a 1st and 10, and they're on their own 30.
Fiedler starts the third quarter. Miami begins at its own 30, and Fiedler to throw on first down. Picks up 4 and gets out of bounds. The first half stats, the biggest one of all, the 3 turnovers. The Colts only with 143 yards in total offense, just 16 more than the Dolphins, as Miami rushed for 90 first half yards.
They only had to go an average of 27 yards on their 3 scoring drives, so obviously, you know, they haven't really had much field to try and move the ball on.
Look at those third down conversions. 1 for 6 for the Colts, 1 out of 7 for the Miami Dolphins. That is not good.
Smith cuts it outside. First down and more. Lamar Smith into Colts territory to the 42.
I know that Cornelius Bennett has a bad right hand because he had a cast on it when he came in to see us yesterday. But he's a linebacker that's been around a long time. And one of the things you do not do is at the end of the line, you don't wait on a player. You go attack him. Watch him sit and wait. Now, Smith gets out to the outside, just knocks him down with one arm. There's nobody out there now. He's got a block. Tony Martin, number 80, gets a block, and down the field they go. Just run the football.
That was a 24-yard scamper by Smith. He has 111 yards on the day already. Fiedler play action. Screen. Johnson. Cut down from behind as he got to the 35. Bratsky, nice job of chasing the play.
Bratsky showed a little bit of speed because he was on his way to the quarterback. Red screen, got back into the play. He's limping a little bit and ends up making the tackle. That's just hustle. Here comes Bratsky. He is number 92. Watch that. He reads screen right now, gets into the flow, and he makes a dive and makes the tackle.
And he came up limping after Mark Dixon fell on him. Bratsky from the Giants. Back to Smith on the ground inside the 30.
Those 2 guys in the middle, actually the 3, Mark Dixon, the left guard, Tim Ruddy, the center, and Kevin Donnelly, the right guard, are doing a very nice job on the interior of that Colt defense. Lamar Smith has gained a lot of yards, and a lot of them right up the gut.
Well, Alice Johnson told us yesterday, we asked him about this offensive line. Why can they block so well now and running the ball as well? He said they are very good as a unit.
And he said those interior 3 guys have the best combination blocks of anybody in the league. Smith again. Great cut by Lamar Smith. David Macklin, the rookie out of Penn State, had him dead to rights, and he just left him in his tracks.
But also, you didn't see that niftiness that you saw in Lamar Smith. I think he's tired. You either spot him right now or you run a play action pass to give him an opportunity to catch his breath just a little bit. You keep handing him the ball, he's going to get tired. It's going to go on the ground.
You don't get tired when you make over $1 million a year, Joe.
Yeah, you do.
No, you don't. Not allowed to.
So that's a difference.
Just keep giving him the ball.
2nd and 5 for the Dolphins on a critical drive for them. Fake the end around, give it to Smith, and Smith put on his back at the 22.
Well, now you know the game plan. Since Fiedler's last pick, his last interception, 13 runs, 4 passes.
We talked about the combo block, Mike. You see Kevin Donnelly and Ruddy, the center and the right guard. What they do is they block down on Josh Williams and then come off on Dwight Hollier, the middle linebacker.
3rd and 3, 4 wide receivers set. Autry Denson is the setback. Colts come with a blitz. Fiedler, nice adjustment to Denson. Autry Denson inside the 15. Great awareness by Fiedler under pressure.
That was a good decision. And it's really been his inaccuracy has contributed to it, but the decision process has got him more of a problem than anything. Little play action. They come up the middle from the ump cam. You get to see it. Not a very good block by Denson. Hey, if you don't block somebody, that means that means you're going to be wide open in the spaces, so you better catch it. You're right.
1st and 10, Miami from the 14. They're down 14-0 to the Colts. Fiedler, a lot of room. Fiedler to the 6. Well, the entire defense fought that fake.
Well, when you're handing off with your right hand, you have the ability to hide it from the defense going this way. Watch this. He's going to right. He hides the ball completely, never exposes it. Now he has to tuck it in his right arm a little bit. Tony Martin's trying to block for him on Muhammad.
Jay Fiedler, 267 rushing yards this year. Dan Marino in his career, 87 rushing yards.
Yeah, but those were hard yards.
And they were early in his career, too.
Smith. Cut down as he went inside the 5. They'll mark it at the 2. That will be a 1st and goal, Dolphins. This is an impressive drive when they had to have it.
And they did it basically by running the football.
You talk about the lineman block, and Mark Dixon, number 63. He is the guy that's going to get a block. Watch him pull, and then up into the hole, and he gets the block on Cota, number 37, right at the point of attack. You'll see it right now. There's a block. There's the hole. And also Conrad's got a nice block, number 44.
2 fullbacks in front of Smith. Lamar Smith. Nice stop by Macklin, and then he got help.
This is not defensively. Larry Chester, number 64, is the biggest guy really on this defensive line at 310. Both the tackles are about 285, Williams and Johnson. Both the ends are 275, Scioli and Bratsky. So they're really not that big up front.
This will be the 11th play of a drive that's taken almost 7 minutes off the clock. Tight set. Smith. Touchdown.
They just run over the left side. Richmond Webb is over there. Mark Dixon, number 63, is over there. 78 is Richmond Webb. Look at the blocking. Webb just takes Bratsky out. They block inside. Hunter Goodwin is a tight end, and he is a huge tight end. And look at the hole.
Mate for the point after. And the Dolphins have cut the lead in half. Lamar Smith with his first score of the postseason. He has 129 yards rushing.
If you're single, or even if you're not, you'll always be welcome at the Singles Bar. People call in every day looking to chat, get a date, or perhaps something more. You'll find the Singles Bar on 09069 12 13 12. And we have thousands of callers every day looking for fun. So why don't you join me on 09069 12 13 12. Call us now. The new phone bar is fast and fun, and it's the easiest way to talk to exciting new people. You can swap messages or connect live for a private chat with anyone in the bar you like the sound of. With up to 240 people on the line right now, you're sure to find someone to interest you. Give it a try now and find out for yourself on 09069 121 131. That's 09069 121 131.
The Dolphins, trailing by 7 points at the end of 3, cut their deficit to 4 points when Olindo Mare converted a 38-yard field goal early in the fourth quarter. In an increasingly defensive game, both teams found difficulty in moving the ball. However, with less than 5 minutes remaining, the Colts marched down the field and restored their 7-point advantage when Mike Vanderjagt hit a 50-yard field goal. 17-10 Colts. We rejoin the game on the Dolphins' next drive. They have a 1st and 10 on their own 20-yard line.
Miami 80 yards away from a tying touchdown. Smith will get 7. The Mike Vanderjagt field goal of 50 yards, the longest in Colts postseason history. Joe, where did he play at college?
I believe it was West Virginia.
That's correct. All right, what do you do here? Same thing?
First of all, obviously, you go for every 4th down if you get it. I think you continue to run the football. 4 minutes, 15 seconds. Plenty of time to run your offense still.
Smith stopped shy of the 1st down. Dwight Collier, the former Dolphin who's had a couple of wicked hits in this game.
Well, he looked at some film and he knows how to fill a hole. I'm going to tell you, here's the next Dolphin, Dwight Hillier, and watch this. When he fills a hole, watch how fast this thing closes. Bam! Down.
Well, he just throws Rob Conrad to the side.
Fiedler with a quarterback keeper will get the 1st down.
All right, he's got his 3 timeouts left. He also has the 2-minute warning, so there really isn't any hurry. I believe if you're the Colts, though, is you start putting people at the line of scrimmage and take Lamar Smith out of this offense. Jay Fiedler has yet to prove he can throw the ball upfield with much accuracy. Make him try and do it.
5 wide receivers, no backs. Fiedler looked out from behind and nearly picked off right into the chest of Brad Scioli. Couldn't hold it.
Boy, Cornelius Bennett just took a run at Fiedler, and he never saw him coming. He just gets the ball away, and Scioli almost makes the interception. Scioli is number 99. He's the left defensive end, and here comes Cornelius Bennett, number 97. Watch, ball goes bang.
See,
that's good.
But that he knows he's got the hot over there. The receiver runs it. He tries to get it off.
2nd and 10. Back to the I formation. To the sideline, and just shy of the 1st down, Gadsden taken down at the 41. The clock did not stop because his progress was stopped inbounds by Mustafa Muhammad.
Watch how close Brad Scioli comes to picking this off. Looking out to the right, Fiedler just fires this thing and hits Scioli right in the chest. Now, Mike Peterson and Brad Scioli, Peterson a 2nd-round pick, Scioli a 5th-round pick a couple years ago, those were the guys that the Colts got in the Marshall Faulk trade.
They are burning so much time by huddling up. I'm surprised they don't go to a hurry up, even if they run it.
Nah, they're okay. They have plenty of timeouts left.
Have to get the 1st down to keep the drive alive, and Smith does that up to the 44.
Now, see, now I would have taken a timeout. I would have used one of my timeouts now.
They're going to go down to the 2-minute warning.
See, I would have used the timeout at 2 minutes and 23 seconds.
Well, they have used an awful lot of time gaining 24 yards on this drive. They still have 56 yards to go to tie them.
But they have 18 seconds.
The crowd doesn't like the decision either. We've reached the 2-minute warning. Colts by 7 over the Dolphins. Jim Mora is 2 minutes away from winning the first playoff game in his career. He is 0-5. 4 as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, 1 with Indianapolis. Dave Wannstedt wants to deny him the pleasure.
And Jay Fiedler's got to get him in and out of the huddle with a little bit more speed than he did over those 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Fiedler to throw underneath Martin. He'll pick up 9 in the Indianapolis territory.
I just don't like when a quarterback always has to look at the sidelines to try and figure out what's going on. There comes a point in the game where you have to take charge of it.
Quarterback keeper. Fiedler still on his feet. Running with a torn rotator cuff in his left shoulder.
You're down to 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Still 3 timeouts.
Still plenty of timeouts, but you're going to have to get into a position where you can make some throws up the field so you can make some throws in the end zone.
I can't believe they're going to a huddle. This is just eating up the clock.
I don't like the way they're managing the end of this football game at all.
Fever has this one batted away. The clock will stop at the 105 mark. Mark Thomas, the former Chicago Bear, knocked it away.
You know what happens when you let the clock run like they've let it run down to now 105? They let 18 seconds go off, Joe, before the 2-minute warning. You take Lamar Smith out of the game.
Well, he's out anyway.
Well, wait a minute. But you have 2 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the game and 3 timeouts. This guy's still a valuable part of the game. But now he's not.
In the last 4 minutes, they weren't going to run the football at all, Paul. They were going to put it in the air. But I agree with you. Going back to the huddle, when you have the clock running, just isn't accomplishing what you want in saving time.
Flags are down. There was movement on the Dolphin offense. This will cost them 5.
Prior to the snap, false start, 80, offense, 5-yard penalty, still remains, second down.
That's Tony Martin, the wide receiver. Keep in mind, this